And welcome, guys. So, new episode of October. I'm sure you are welcome, special. Okay, this is the 95th episode. Before I do want to finish right, happy New Month to you. It's the last month of the year 2021, right? This is the month of December 21st, and it's a pleasure to have you guys here. So, this is the 95th episode, and on today's episode, are there benefits to taking risks in business? Are there benefits to taking risks in business? All right. Before I dive right into what I'm name, as you know, is Adam to Nigeria, and the show is all about business, entrepreneurship, freelancing, everything that comes from in your business. All right. So with that, you know, to introduce yourself, come tell me how you're doing, do so, like just put it there. Tell me how you tell me how you tell me how productive you're being before I dive into what I have for today. Okay. So today's episode is are there benefits to taking risks in business? Now I know for certain a lot of us fear taking risks, especially here in this part of the world where there's so many uncertainty, right? Like before you take a risk in this part of the world, especially where in Nigeria, right? You probably like think and you think the fact that like, am I sure I'm about to actually take this risk? Because there are no certain like the probability of you having a particular certainty is very, very limited. So many challenges are we face in the long run. So would you want to say that like taking risk is worth it? Like for a lot of people, like to take risks at all. And what are their reasons for not wanting to take risk? For some people, it might be that like, it is the fear of the unknown or the fear of failure. A lot of the times, people do not want to take risk because they just feel like if I should take this risk, what if I don't get the expected result? And because they have that mindset, right, they built that mindset and back and they feel that you know what, it's not worth it. I can as well just like let it go. There's no point in me taking a risk because I am not sure of what the outcome will be. A lot of factors are there. We have insecurity in the country, we have government policies, and the probably like change tomorrow, we have this, we have that. And before you know it, you've already discouraged yourself to the point that you do not even try to take any risk at all. I have someone that's coming to work. Someone is saying, "Oh, really? My volume is low." Wow, I didn't notice that. Okay, so let me quickly check my microphone and see what went wrong. If I did not do the setting properly. Whoa. Oh, hello, can you hear me now? Okay, I think this should be better now. Yes, this should be better now. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Mr. John Asiegbo, thank you also for telling me that like there's an audio hitch. Thank you guys. I think you guys should be able to hear me now. If you can, please comment and let me know that like I'm actually on point. All right. Thank you, Mr. John. Thank you very much. So I am back right now. I'm back. All right. So I have Temitayo Abodunde in the house, and I think my audio is better now. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Let me quickly recap. The first thing I said that like a lot of people are afraid to take risks because of the fear of what's the word, of failure or of the unknown, right? Because of so many factors out there, right? Insecurity within the country, government policies, people trying to cheat you from the business you're trying to venture into, and whole lot of reasons why people actually like say they do not want to take risks. Now, this is Nigeria. The light is off. They're taking the light right now, but then we continue. We move anyway. So as I was saying, different reasons. Another reason rather why people do not take risk is the fact that like the fear of the past, especially for those people that have actually tried taking risk before, but at some point they've been burnt, their fingers have been burnt, and then like they have this fear that like if I'm going to try to like take risk again, it might as well backfire a second time, and they choose not to take the risk in their business. In short, like in their business, in their personal lives, a lot of people, just because of past circumstance that has actually like given them this phobia for taking risk. They tell you that like, hey, I am not interested in taking any risk. I know someone that once said that like he can't take a loan for a business because something happened to an uncle of his. And because of that, everybody in their family chose not to take the risk, chose not to, what's the word? To go into business and like probably like take loan to do business. All right. Now that is someone else's fear that has been laid upon someone else, and that person has made that mindset their own. Right. So another reason why people do not take risk is the unwillingness to move forward, to push ahead. There are some people that like they're just comfortable where they are, right? And they just feel that like, hey, there's no need for me to take any risk. I am comfortable as I am. The level I have gotten to in life is okay. My business is doing fine. There's no need for me to push any further. Now, these are different reasons why people might want to take might not want to take risks on the long run. It is very understandable, but in my own opinion, I feel that if you want to get something huge, right? Or as I say in Nigeria, if you're expecting something huge, right, you need to take risks. It is very, very important for you to take risks. If you need to grow on the long run, you have to take risks. And I have outlined different points or the benefits of taking risks in business. The number one point that I have here is that it makes you to stand out. The beauty about taking risks is that like people see you as wow, you did this thing that like every other person has had dreaded to do, right? You walked where people feared to walk, right? It makes you visible in the eyes of the world, because if you are the first person to take that risk and then become a success in it, then you stand out from the crowd. Like you are not like the rest of the crowd. You are very, very different. That's the beauty about taking risk. It makes you to do what to stand out. Number two on my list is that like you gain more knowledge. When you are trying to like take risks, right? Your knowledge base increases. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my because I actually wrote a point down. Um, Now, the beauty about taking risk is this. Once you've already taken a risk in a particular aspect, right? Now, the knowledge you have learned in that scenario, even if you fail in that scenario, right? But all the knowledge that you've gained, by the time you go into another venture, you're about to take another risk, all the knowledge that you've had in the past, you can easily bring it to this new thing, and it helps you to navigate through that thing easier. All right. The beauty about risk is you gain more knowledge, because there are times that like there are things that like you're not even looking for, right? But because of the knowledge that like you have gained while trying to like venture into something new, right? You can even like spot new opportunities. I think I even okay. I don't think I wrote it down, but one of the beauties about risk is that like you are actually able to spot new opportunities that were never there before. You are probably looking for something, right? You are trying to like take a risk in a particular line, but while doing that, you come across other things that like you realize that hey, these things have potentials and they can actually make my business have a turnaround. They can actually make my business grow exponentially. That is the beauty about taking risks. All right. So number three on the list is it eventually leads you to success. Now you get to a level in life that like you take risks so much that like nothing gets to you. You know that like, see, it is either I get this thing or I get that thing, right? Like you know that like you have to put your all in it, and you know most likely the various challenges that could probably come your way, because there's something about business that like once you've done something over and over again, right? Even if you are transiting from one business to another, you realize that like a lot of these things are very, very similar, right? There are basic things that come up in every business that like once you face that same challenge in one business, it's not going to be new to you in the next business you're trying to venture into. Okay. So it leads you to what? It leads you to success. And then number four on the list is you are able to overcome your fear of failure. Right now, I said this earlier that like a lot of people do not try to take risks because they're afraid that like, hey, what if this business were to fail? What if I do not really get get the expected result that I was hoping to get in this particular venture I'm about to get to. But once you have gotten to that level that, like, hey, I'm a risk taker, I take calculated risks in business, the fear of failure would diminish. All you know is that, like, okay, fine, if this doesn't work, I most likely will find something else that I can divert my attention to, or I can see another way out. Maybe it is not the way that, like, I thought I was going to um, get the expected result, but you would always see something new that can help you to chart your course into a new direction. That's the beauty about taking risks. Your fear of failure dies because at the end of the day, you know that, like, you are going to be successful. All right. So that is that you're able to overcome your fear of failure on the long run. And then number five on the list is you set a new bar for others to reach. Now, that's the beauty about taking risks in your business, because if every other person has been afraid to go in a particular line, right? You that have chosen to take that risk, once you're able to become successful in that new venture, then you have set the bar for every other person. Every other person will start trying to, like, come up to your own standard, because at that point in time, remember the first point I made, you stand out. And once you stand out in business, more people would crowd around you, because people will feel that, like, hey, this is the new thing that we need to do right now, and everybody would start coming your way. And that way you have already set a standard for every other business around you to try to meet up to. And if care is not taken, they would probably have to pay you for the knowledge to know how you actually went about it. All right, so that's the beauty about what about taking risk. You set the bar for every other businesses, every other person around you. Moving on to number six, you become what? A deep learner. You become a deep learner. Now, when it comes to taking risks, right? I spoke about knowledge, and another part is the learning part, because one, you do not just take risks, right? You do not just take random risks without counting your costs. You do not take risks without doing enough research. You do not take risks without strategizing properly to know that, like, okay, is this thing going to be feasible enough, or am I just building my house in the air, or am I building my castle in the air, right? You strategize, you plan, you learn before you pursue that new venture or that risk that you're about to take. You don't just take um, what's it called? You don't just go into it without actually planning properly, and which makes you a deep learner, because the in the process of trying to, like, take that risk, you are doing all the research possible to make sure that, like, this thing becomes a success. And once you have that once you have that ingrained in your system, it becomes something that, like, you also apply in every other area of your life. Before you take any step, before you take any decision, you do what you do enough learning. You research, you make sure that, like, you have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted. All right. So that's number six. And then moving on to the last point I have, you are able to adapt easily. All right. That's the beauty about taking risks, because one thing we need to realize in this world that we live in is that, like, times are ever changing. Technology is ever changing. What you felt that, like, was the in thing yesterday is no longer the in thing today. And if you are not willing to take the risk, then you realize that, like, the world has left you and you are behind. But if you're someone that knows that, okay, risk is inevitable, then you become very, very adaptable to the new things that you come across in business, in the technologies that you have to use, and everything else. Imagine someone that probably learned typewriting, say 20, 30 years ago, and probably still feels that, like, hey, I still need to keep doing this thing. Nobody needs a typewriter, a typist rather, anymore. Although there's some people, if you go to Lagos, all these courts in Lagos State, in Nigeria, right? All these guys that do affidavits and the rest, they still use typewriters to work. But as you know it, the world has advanced beyond that point. Only if they had learned to adapt, to take the risk in learning a new skill that would help them to stay abreast of what the world needs today. But right now they are where they are, earning peanuts when they could probably be earning something huge. And the same thing also is applicable to you when you take risk, right? You're able to adapt to the new things that are in trend, and then you would not lose valuable customers on the long run. All right. So I'm going to take all the points again. I said the first point is that like it helps you to stand out, which is my very first point. The second point is you gain more knowledge, right? While trying to like take the risk. And then number three, it eventually leads to success because you realize that like there's nothing called backing out. You just have to get to the end of it and have that success. Then number four on the list is you're able to overcome your fear of failure. And number five is you set a new bar for others to reach. Number six, which is the penultimate number, is you become a deep learner. And then the very last point on my list is you are able to adapt easily, right, as the world is transitioning from one technology or from one thing to the other. All right, guys. So I hope you guys have been able to learn something tangible today. If you are watching me from Facebook right now, please share with your friends. You can share this video with those around you. Share, and like the video. If you're watching from Facebook, please, if you can subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. If you can also share with your friends and business partners, please bring them in. The goal of this program is for us to like help people to grow in their businesses rather, and the freelancing world and everything that has to do with entrepreneurship. All right. My name remains Adam Solofemela today, and it's been a pleasure having you guys here today, sticking around to watch this program. And I'll see you again this weekend. All right. Have a great week.